Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the Disaster Communication course. My name is Pradipta Dirgantara, and I am going to assist you in learning about disaster communication throughout the course. In this course, we are going to learn to elaborate, implement, and analyze elements, processes, and strategies of disaster communication. We will also study and understand disaster management to help identify problems, design disaster communication content, and conclude alternative solutions in the face of disaster events. Now, let's take a look what disaster communication is all about. Before we begin, let's reflect on why disaster communication has a strategic and vital position in Indonesia. What is actually a disaster? And why do we need to study disaster communication? The answer is Indonesia is a country located in a series of rings of fire. This makes Indonesia vulnerable to volcanic disasters and earthquakes. Therefore, disaster communication is a form of mitigation and adaptation efforts for Indonesia in facing disaster vulnerability. To know what the definition of disaster, let's take a look at Constitution Law number 24 year 2007. Disaster is an event or series of events threatening and disturbing life and livelihoods, society caused both by natural factors and or non-natural factors, as well as human factors, resulting in human casualties, environmental damage, property loss, and psychological impact. There are three causes of natural disaster. First, geological disasters such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcano, and landslide. Second, meteorological disaster such as floods, ocean waves, wildfires, droughts, and storms. And the third one is anthropogenic disasters such as industrial damage, transportation accidents, terrorism, sabotage, riots, and social conflicts. There are three types of disaster classifications. First, natural disaster. Second, non-natural disasters. And third one, social disasters. In the face of disaster, we need to know about disaster mitigation. What is it, disaster mitigation? Disaster mitigation is action to reduce the impact of a disaster that can be taken before it occurs, which includes preparedness and measures to reduce long-term risk. There are two approaches in disaster mitigation policy. First one is structural nature and the second one non-structural nature. There are five principles of disaster mitigation. First, disasters are the starting point for mitigation efforts for the next similar plan. Second, mitigation efforts are very complex so that they are interdependent and involve many parties. Third, active mitigation efforts are more effective than passive mitigation efforts. Fourth, where resources are limited, priority should be given to vulnerable groups. Fifth, mitigation efforts require continuous monitoring and evaluation to find out more about changing situation. And that's it for today. For further elaboration, do not forget to attend face-to-face online learning, read the material on LMS, as well as do the quiz and the forum. Thank you and see you next time.